Bandile Masuku, together with the SAPS, is about to brief the media on the latest regarding a newborn baby girl who was kidnapped yesterday at the Chris Hani Baragwanath hospital. Let's cross to that.
And in terms of the agency and response on how we were doing it, we also want to thank the informant, the person who informed the police and actually led us to the apprehension of the suspect. We also want to indicate that the system that we have in the hospital helped us because we had CCTV footage, which we used to positively identify the suspect, even to see how premeditated the whole process was, and that's why we were actually happy. There was a security lapse, which is something that as a hospital we'll have to look at moving forward, and also with all the other hospitals around Gauteng. We also need to indicate that the incident of a baby being kidnapped from Chris Hani Baragwanath was last reported around the 80s. We had some few mishaps, what we call them near misses, where it nearly happened and the people were apprehended before they took the babies out of the hospital. So it just means that we need to strengthen our security system and our security checks to make sure that this incident doesn't happen here or anywhere. We were here yesterday with the police as part of the response, and we were happy that we can announce now that the baby is healthy. It's found, and we have done a DNA test to make sure that also we are reconnecting the right baby with the mother. We don't give the mother a wrong baby. But the suspect is currently in custody. Thank you. Questions?
Take the questions.
Okay.
So, Katla from Kaya FM. I just wanted to find out, just let us in on what happened here, because we just hear that there was a security breach, but we didn't go into detail as to how the person managed to get inside the ward and how the baby was stolen.
Yes, the suspect came in during visiting hours yesterday at around 13:40, and visiting hours usually at 2 o'clock. And we can clearly see him or see her on the CCTV when he was waiting to come into the hospital, into the whole unit using that door. And he went in during the visit because everybody's around, and went into the ward and spoke to the patient lying next to, because the mother was fast asleep. It was the first day post-Caesar, so usually post-Caesar they normally get a lot of sedation just to manage pain. So he played with the baby, and she told the nurses that she's the grandmother or the mother-in-law of the patient, and he was taking the baby to see the uncles outside, and that's how it happened. But we were able to catch all the steps all the way, even when she exited the unit here on her way up to the exit that she used. So it was a good response, and I think our CCTV cameras were quite well. So that's how it happened. But it clearly shows that it was a premeditated, well planned and well executed. She knew the times, and she knew how the unit get busy. I think in a per visit hour, I think we get more than 4,000, 5,000 visitors here during the visiting hour. So it's a very big number.
MEC, there's a story that the suspect had faked a pregnancy to gain entry here, and that may have been the motive behind her taking this child. Can you confirm if this is true?
I can't confirm that. The only thing that I can tell you as a fact is it's what we have seen on the CCTV. But I think with further investigation, with the police involvement, we'll be able to get what was the actual motive.
MEC, it's Tando Kubega from Eyewitness News. Do you suspect maybe this may have been an inside job? And will the security guards who were on duty be held to account? Are there any actions? Have they been removed from the facility while investigations continue? Because I'm sure you guys are investigating this internally.
Yes, internally, because also the CCTV shows us where the lapses were, and I think the security company that is working here will be held accountable. But we also need to say that they did a bit in helping us, because there are officials around in terms of this managing the CCTV camera and even looking at the footage itself. They were part of the whole process, and I think we need to commend them for that. But the security personnel involved, yes, they need to be accountable, her, herself, and also the company.
Candice from SABC Radio. I'm sorry that explanation just doesn't answer all the questions. How is it possible that someone can pose as a grandmother and take a child out of the maternity ward without any kind of documentation or any kind of... Surely she had to produce her ID as proof that she is who she says she is. How is this possible? And why should the buck stop with the security guards when the nurses were the one that let her out? Is any action being taken against them? What exactly were the lapses?
That's the lapse. I think you're quite clear and you're quite correct that in the midst of everything that we do in the hospital, if you can come around here at 2 o'clock and be part of the people who are visiting, the numbers that you see of the visitors who are coming to see patients, all the checks that you might get to check every visitor might not be sufficient. But it's something that you are learning from, that we need to improve, and particularly in terms of the SOP of the mother who had delivered and who lives with the child. It's a standard trial procedure, and the way it seems, the facts that are there on the CCTV is that it didn't happen when she left the unit with, literally the baby. That's why the security and the nurses, yes, they will be held accountable, but there was a serious problem in the midst of the madness that we have in the hospital when the visiting hours happen. That normally can happen. It's a mistake. It has never happened in maybe more than 30 years. But it just seems that this is how well orchestrated and well planned it was.
That's not good enough. I'm sorry.
It's like wanting me to explain how did the volcano or the natural disaster happen. They do happen, and we are going to learn from it. And it's nothing that we can be able to explain beyond what I could explain. But all the systems we are going to look at on how from the ward.
Okay, so we were just on that briefing around the discovery of the baby that was kidnapped. They do have someone in custody, and it seems that they are still trying to pursue another assailant. We're going to go for a break.